Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Schaeffer, and welcome to Signature Strong Live. I am the artistic director of Signature, and tonight we're going to talk all about new musicals at Signature. And in the past 30 years, we have actually produced 60 world premiere plays and musicals. And so tonight we're going to look at some of the recent new musicals at Signature, Light Years, Gun and Powder, and Camille Claudel. And also a new musical that we're actually working on as well called The Blue Poppy. So we really have an eclectic mix of folks with us today from DC to LA to NYC. So we're really excited about that. And tonight's specialty drink from Allie's Bar is the Orange Sun Manhattan, which was served during our premiere of Light Years. So tonight's word is writer. So every time you hear that word, you know what to do. So we're going to be talking about new musicals. And one of the things that I personally love about new musicals is the discovery of the stories that the writers want to tell. And you never know what exciting ideas they come up with. And I always remember Stephen Sondheim giving advice to a young writer. They were saying they didn't know what to write, and he said, write what you know. And I think that that's so true because you know how to tell a story and your own story in a way that no one else knows how to tell that story. And, you know, musicals can take a really long time to get developed, from anywhere 2 years to 10 years. And I think probably one of the hardest things that, you know, writers face is when they write something, whether it's a monologue or a song or a lyric that they love, and then 6 months down the road, they're working on the show and they end up having to throw it all out and start over. And, you know, that's one thing when we always say you got to kill your baby sometimes, which is the hardest thing I think that writers have to face. But I think it's all part of the process. And so, you know, the great also thing about it is at Signature, we develop a lot of musicals and they're all different. Like each one is a different process. So some go through reading, some go through workshops, some go through longer rehearsal periods. And I think it's really important that you take the time to make sure like each musical gets its own birthing process that really supports what the writers need and what's going to be best for the piece. So there's really no set formula. There's no textbook of how to write the perfect musical. And that's what actually is exciting about it. It's exhilarating, it's exhausting, but also it's rewarding in the end. So get started. And the first show we're going to talk about is a show that we produced at Signature 2 years ago. And it's one of my personal favorites, one that I really, really love. And here's a little clip from Light Years.
Orange sun, orange sun, India, gauzy crowd, looking out with a soul that sees can bet your ass. I remember me. I remember me. I remember me. Yeah.
Love that music, and we're so lucky because we have not only the book writer but the lyric writer and also the music writer. Robbie Schaefer's here with us. Hey Robbie, how are you?
Oh, I'm well. I'm so happy to be here with my SIG family.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're thrilled that you're here. So I think the interesting thing about you is you were with, and you still are, with the band Eddie from Ohio, which you guys have performed around the world. Mm-hmm. And then you decided, oh, I'm going to write a musical and go into musical theater. Why did you do that?
What the hell was I thinking? I've said it often. I think if I knew actually all the things you were just describing, you know, about the process, if I actually knew what I was getting into, I probably never would have started. So luckily I was ignorant from the beginning.
Oh, we're glad you were.
Yeah, I think I just, you know, I didn't set out to really write a musical. I simply felt that I had this story that I wanted to tell, and I knew that it just felt for a while that it needed a different kind of platform than just writing songs and recording albums and playing music on a stage. And once I realized that this is what it needed to be something theatrical. That's when it really started to take shape, and that was really exciting for me and scared the crap out of me.
Oh, that's great. Well, is it like, for you, what's the difference between writing a song for your band and then actually writing a song for the theater?
Way different. I think, when you're writing a song for a band that's going to be on a recorded piece, you know that people are going to be able to listen to it whenever they want, over and over and over again. So what you can do is leave lots of space and subtlety and allow people to sort of infuse their own story into the song. And in musical theater, you need something that's way more concrete than that, way more specific than that, and yet somehow that still leaves room for the audience to come to it, right?
Right.
So I think one of the hardest times I have writing for Light Years and now for the musical I've been working on has been being more specific and not just trafficking in all these subtleties all the time, and making sure I'm actually leading the character somewhere, right?
Yeah. That's what you got to do. Do you find like writing, what's like the hardest thing in writing for a musical? Like, do you find like a ballad or an up-tempo or the opening or the finale? Is there like a certain, genre song that you're like, oh God, this is a climb up Mount Everest?
Yeah, it's well, I as you well know, Eric, I had a baptism by fire when I wrote Light Years, because the first iteration of Light Years I played for you, and one of the first suggestions you had was, yeah, we got to get rid of that opening song, and I was just like, oh, we have to what? And really, that was the start of my education on what an opening song needs to do, right? And it needs to tell the audience who they're supposed to care about and why they're supposed to care about them. And it has so many things that it sets up, and if it doesn't do that, it's hard to recover from that, right? And so for me, that's the toughest thing. That's the toughest thing. The opening song is, boy, it's gotta work.
Because once you set that road right, then you're home free. You know where you're going, how you're going. Yeah.
Everybody knows the rules.
Yeah. And what was the most rewarding thing for you during Light Years?
Oh gosh, you guys. I mean, really, I'm not brown nosing. It's no, it's theater is such a collaborative experience. And I know that may sound funny because I spent most of my life in a band, but in such a different way. There's so many, the palette is so much broader, right? In theater, that we're telling a story through lighting. We're telling a story through a set. We're telling a story through just simple physical movements even. And so for everybody to collaborate and incorporate their own little piece of artistry into that is thrilling to me. And actually really it requires an enormous amount of trust, and that everybody really, really desires to tell this story in the best way that it can be told, and that they don't get in the way of that. Right. And granted, I have nothing to compare it against, my signature theater experience, but that's how I felt about being there. I miss you guys so much.
No, it was, look, we loved coming to rehearsal every day, because it was just like, we got to just, do your songs every day and tell the story. And it was so much fun. And it was so moving, and so personal, which is great. And, I just want to say the great thing is we do have the cast album from Light Years, from Signature, that once we get to reopen, that you can buy in our store, but you can get it on Spotify and also on iTunes. And, we just thought, let's like relive another moment. And so you're going to do a song for us, aren't you?
I am going to do a song for you.
This is Constellations from the show. A little bit.
Yeah. This is sort of a moment between, so Light Years, if you haven't seen it, is sort of a semi-autobiographical, mostly autobiographical show. And this is a scene when Robbie is a young adult and he's sitting with his father and trying to tell him that, trying to explain who he is, kind of. And they don't always really see eye to eye. So up at the stars and said, I don't know a single constellation. We lay on our backs, swallowing the nameless night, and though we fall in love with our particular formations, all we'll ever be is dark and light. I want to be of the earth, I want to breathe in the sound and feel my hands reaching deep in the ground. I want to dance with the trees, not like some tree-hugging boy, just as a free loving body embodying joy. I want to be in the world, I want to revel in toil, I want to feel my feet 10,000 feet in the soil. I want to burst when I'm full, I want to shine like I'm mad, not like a pattern of stars, just as the light that I am. You looked up at me and said, this must be the strangest conversation, lobbing our truths back and forth in aimless flight. And though we fall in love with our particular translations, all we'll ever mean is love. And I want to be of the earth, I want to breathe in the sound and feel my hands reaching deep in the ground. I want to dance with the trees, not like some tree-hugging boy, just as a free-loving body embodying joy. I want to be in the world, I want to revel in toil, I want to feel my feet 10,000 feet in the soil. I want to burst when I'm full, I want to shine like I'm mad, not like a pattern of stars, just as the light that I am, not like a pattern of stars, just as the light that I am, not like a pattern of stars, just as the light that I am.
Oh my God, it's so great hearing that again.
Oh, thanks. It feels good to play it for you guys.
Oh, hey, so first there's a comment and then there's a question. So Maya Well said, and my daughter still remembers playing your album, Songs for Kids Like Us, constantly. We love Robbie. This is from Trisha Meeks, said, when do I get to take my 12-year-old son to a new run of Light Years? Not soon
That's
enough.
an excellent question, Eric.
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. We're definitely working on a second run of Light Years, and maybe we'll just do it from my house.
Yeah, or we'll do it in my front yard, or we'll do it in the plaza at Shirlington. But
Yeah,
we definitely,
perfect.
yeah, it needs to be done again for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Robbie, stick around because we're going to come back to you
Sounds
at
great.
the end, and we're going to do a little. We're going to hear from you again at the end of the show.
Awesome.
So,
Can't wait.
great. So right before the pandemic hit, we were just deep into rehearsals for a new musical, Camille Claudel. And it's a new Frank Wildhorn, Nan Knighton musical about the sculptress Camille Claudel and how she broke down barriers and really tried to exist in a man's world with giants like Rodin. It's a really great show, and I love it. I have to say I miss being in rehearsal every day we had an amazing cast of Teal Wicks and Hugh Panero, Bobby Smith, Donna Migliaccio, Chris Block, Crystal Mosser. I mean, I could go on and on. And it was great hearing the songs that Frank and Nan had written every day as well. It was just something that was so special and so unique. And so we are going to do the show next season, which we're excited about. But it was sad when we had to, like, stop rehearsals, because the whole set was actually in the theater. We were ready to start tech, and we just had to shut it all down. But we're lucky because Frank said that he'd do us a little medley of his songs, which he's going to do for us, that he's written with Nan. And we're also going to get to see his dog, which is great. So let's welcome Frank.
Hey guys, love from New York. News getting a little better, but we got to still be vigilant and be strong and be safe and be smart. We're supposed to be doing Camille Claudel right now at the Signature Theater with the great Eric Schaeffer and his wonderful staff there. Written with my beautiful partner Nan Knighton. We wrote Scarlet Pimpernel together, and starring Teal Wicks and Hugh Pinero and a great cast. But I know it's going to happen next year, so we'll just have to be patient. But in the meantime, here's some Camille Claudel.
Oh, thanks so much, Frank. I love those melodies. I can't wait to hear them with us back in rehearsal soon enough. So another thing that we're also lucky about is how our audiences actually love and support new musicals. And so here is this week's audience spotlight.
Hi, my name is Deb Gandy, and I've been coming to Signature since the days of the garage, and I've been a member of the Signature Board of Directors since 2003. It's been my honor to support performances at Signature with a focus on people of color. I was especially proud to support a brilliant new work that we did last year, Gun and Powder. Songwriters Angelica Chéri and Ross Baum deliver a powerful story of two sisters who pass for white to obtain money to help their mother. It illustrates so well what I love so much about Signature, the celebration of amazing treasures, whether time-honored productions like Jelly's Last Jam or Dreamgirls, or new works like Gun and Powder. I love seeing excellent productions with extraordinary artists in an intimate setting. I miss seeing all of you at Signature, and I can't wait until we're all back together again. Until then, please stay safe and stay well.
Deb, and speaking of Gun and Powder, we're going to talk about that new musical next. And here's a clip with the company singing the title song.
Just like a howling wind or a bucking bull or a speeding bullet, something hit him right between the eyes. As hot as a flaming fire burning deep inside that could not be quenched. The flames went reaching up to the skies. It was a knowing, it was a hurting, and aching pain. The notion that their family blood was used to water southern land, that they might never own the ground on which they stand. So they fought back with gun and powder, town to town, took their fill and left laughing louder than they ever laughed before. Ain't it funny how the tables turned around? Looked like they finally got to play some common ground, and they wanted more.
Oh, I just love that show so much, and I'm so excited because tonight we have Angelica Chéri with us from LA. Hi, Angelica.
Hi, Eric.
How are you?
It's great to see you. I am doing wonderful.
Well, you look fantastic. How are things going? Good?
It is sunny, both indoors and outdoors out here.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, how was the Gun and Powder experience for you? How was it?
Just life-changing. I don't even know if I've yet to find the words to articulate how it really made me feel. And because my collaborator Ross and I, this was our thesis project at NYU. We were grad students just conjuring up and constructing this story 5 years ago, going on 6. Oh my goodness, going on 6 years ago.
I said 2 to 10 years, so there you go. 6. That's good.
Falls right in line, yes, because the world premiere was exactly around 5 years from inception. And so just to have had these women and these storylines and these songs in our heads, and then at music stands for a great deal of the development period, to that fully beautiful realized set with such gorgeous people, such beautiful spirits who were all very just generous and giving and talented and fearless. I still have chills. I can't believe it's over for now. But
well, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again for sure. But so, Angelica, like one of the things is, as a writer, you have to all of a sudden hand your baby over to not just like one person, but as you said, you were naming all these people, but there's the director, the choreographer, the music director, all the actors. Like, how is that to hand over your baby after 5 years?
Well, one of the things that Ross and I talk about so much is collaboration. Obviously, I'm the book writer and lyricist, Ross is the composer, but the entire story is ours. We've constructed and contracted every single piece of it together. So it started from collaboration. And so when we were deciding who we wanted to be the director, who we felt like were some strong members for the cast, the choreographer, every person is another collaborator. So we had to make sure that when we were selecting our team, we had that confidence, the same confidence that we have in ourselves. with the people who we were inviting on the journey with us. And so that being the case, we had every confidence in the decisions that they were making, that they were only advancing what was just in our heads and just bringing their version of genius to it. And that's how it can grow to these exponential levels, because everyone is adding to it.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it. It's just everyone's adding on to what what you actually have started to bake, which is fantastic. I mean, because you're a young writer who's been successful.
Oh,
and well, it's true. But like, what's one thing like you would tell young writers who want to write for the musical theater? What's like the one thing that you could, give to them?
Stay the course. Just like you said, because it takes so much longer than much anything else that you would ever have to develop. Anything that you sit down to write is going to be a commitment, but musicals take so much more time. And you, like you said, you'll start writing, you'll have to throw things out. Ross and I, we have written, I think, a total of 89 songs for this show.
Oh my God.
We have this massive.
You got 3 other musicals in there.
3 other musicals. But the thing is that we'll take one theme from this song that was recycled and now it's this other song, and we'll move these lyrics out. Like, it's just copy and paste and different things. But it just, in order to have a final product that you are proud of and feel like represents the vision that you're trying to say, it takes a lot of hard work and perseverance. And so if you're a young writer and you want to write a musical, get your stamina up and your spirits, because it will test your faith, it will test your patience, but you have to just be so relentlessly committed to the idea to keep going.
Yeah, but I have to say, though, like, you're such a great positive force, and you were a great positive force in the rehearsal room and so supportive to everyone in that room that, I know people love coming to rehearsal every day just because feeling your presence and just how excited you were about it, which was fantastic.
Everyone's energy was of that. And so it made it fun for everybody. I was like, we're in rehearsal again? It's cool.
So let me ask you, is there one thing that like you learned personally about this experience with Gun and Powder?
Oh my goodness. I think one of the things that I learned was trust your initial voice and be fearless when it's starting to morph into something beyond what you intended. Because there were different character arcs, there were different song moments that in my mind, and for the 5 years that we've been working on it, this is what it's supposed to be about. This is what it means. This is why it's happening. This is the way it's supposed to look. And then again, going back to handing the baby over, you have people who have different ideas. There's something that changes with the choreography, changes with the staging. And so you have to just decide that your idea can still be true, even if it involves to be something beyond what you even conceived it to be. And that's what happened with me. And I think that the show is stronger because of being able to incorporate those.
To do all that.
Yes.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I want you to stick around because we have questions coming in, and I'm going to get you and Robbie back together, and we're going to come back to you in 1 second. But before we do that, we're going to actually have some trivia, signature new musical trivia. And we thought what we would do tonight is actually bring 2 staff members on. So we actually have George, who's the executive assistant and also the casting assistant, and Laura, better known as Pippi, who is our company manager, joining us tonight to do signature new musical trivia. How are you guys doing?
Oh, so excited to be here.
I am great. I am nervous.
Yeah, because your jobs are on the line,
Like, yes, they are. Oh, I know.
Or else, if you're going to get a raise, there's a lot of pressure.
Big money, big money.
Yeah.
Big money is right.
Well, let's see how the staff does and if they know their signature history, shall we? So the first question. Now, when the right answer, just raise your hand and then give us the right answer, okay? So First question is, this Dempsey and Rowe musical received its world premiere at Signature featuring a traveling theater troupe in the potato fields of Siberia. Was it A, The Fix, B, Brother Russia, or C, The Witches of Eastwick? Laura.
Brother Russia.
That is right. Oh.
I'm just going to drink.
Okay. Well, that seems like a good answer, George. Laura's drinking 2 to celebrate her victory of 1. Okay, here we go. Number 2. This new musical was the first one produced as part of Signature's American Musical Voices project? A, Giant, B, Sycamore Trees, C, And the Curtain Rises. Oh, George.
Is it Giant?
Correct. Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna drink to celebrate that one too.
Okay, that's good. Perfect. All right, here we go. Tiebreaker. This is it.
Oh boy, tiebreaker.
The job is on the line. This new musical featured a score by Sheryl Crow. A, Beaches. B, Girlfriend. C, Diner. Oh, Laura was first.
It was Diner.
Oh, Diner, you're right. Oh, well, you guys did great. I'm very impressed.
Well, as a former Signature employee, what an honor to be here.
We thank you. We thank you both for joining us because we thought, let's get some of the Signature family out here today. And so thank you guys for playing Signature Trivia, and I will see you at the next all Zoom staff meeting.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Thank you. Good. Well done, guys. All right. So now, Fred Ebb, he was a good friend of mine. And the one piece of advice he actually gave me, which I remember really well, and that was that as soon as you open a show, you need to start on the next one the next day. It's like you can't sit around and wallow, read a good review, read a bad review, go, what am I going to do? Start on your next project right away and stay focused on your work. And so once we opened Light Years, I reached out to Robbie and I said, hey, Robbie, what's next? So we're going to welcome him back now. So Robbie, there's the question. So you're now working on another new musical with Grace Barnes, who's actually a book writer in Shetland, which is in Scotland, the Shetland Islands, which is a little far away compared to here. So can you just tell us a little bit about the new story that you're working on and how it got started?
Yeah, you bet. So the show is called The Blue Poppy, and the shortest way I've found so far to describe it is that it's an Irish-Jewish ghost story. And essentially it takes place in part in London in the 1980s with an Irishman named Michael, and in 1943 in Denmark primarily with a woman named Greta, a young woman named Greta. And slowly those characters and other characters, as well as the two times, start to intersect in ways that we don't really expect. And really, it's a show ultimately about the possibilities for redemption in our lives. So I think Grace has just written this really, really beautiful show, and it's really tender and exciting and incredibly original. So, it's been a lot of fun to work on.
That's great. Well, I think, in the future, people are going to see it at Signature. But before they do, are you up for giving us one song from it?
Yeah, you bet.
Perfect.
That would be fun. Yeah, in fact, we kind of been just tying up. We're on draft number 6 right now, and we've been finally kind of got to a stopping point just during our stay-at-home orders. So all the songs are written until some of them get thrown out. But I think this one will probably stay. This one kind of comes at the 11th hour of the show. And one of our main characters kind of has sort of stepped through this gauntlet that was placed in front of him. And what we really needed was this sort of joy comes in the morning kind of song that felt a little bit like that. Like there's a new life and a new possibility now in front of him that he never really could have foreseen. So this is called Avalanche. It's an avalanche and it's tumbling down and it's gathering at my feet. It's another chance to unbutton my button so that I can finally breathe. And now speaking of my breath, It rises and it falls to the rhythm of my body and the rhythm of the world and the wonder of it all. It's a tidal wave and it's rising up steady and I'm ready to drink it down. It's another day and everything that ever blessed me is resting in this sound. And now speaking of this sound, it curls into my cup. And now I'm overflowing with all that I am knowing and a love that fills me up. In a bottle, a bottle, a bottle, hey. It's a bottle, a bottle, a bottle, hey. Following an avalanche of love, love, love. An avalanche of love, love, love. There is nothing left to fear, so I surrender to this now. All my life has led me here, has led me here to this moment, to this moment. So I'm gonna pick up my feet and begin again. It's a pinprick to the center of my heart, and my heart can finally bloom. It's a balloon trick I remember from the start. I go flying across the room. And now speaking of my heart, it bounces and it soars to the one vibration, unbroken meditation in a never-ending roar. In a bottle, a bottle, a bottle, hey. It's a bottle, a bottle, a bottle, hey. Following an avalanche of love, love, love. An avalanche of love, love, love. Love, love, love. An avalanche of love, love, love.
Ah, I love it. That's so great. I'm so excited about the show because, like you said, it's so original and just so different. So I can't wait for people to see it. So that's exciting. So we're going to bring back Angelica now. Angelica.
Hi.
So we've got some questions here that have come in. And the first one's for you. This is from Maya again. And she said, would love to see Gun and Powder go to a broader audience. More people need to see it. Any plans?
Well, I don't think that I'm revealing anything by saying that we have Broadway aspirations. I think we're very, very determined. Obviously, it's an unknown time zone right now. We don't know when those things will be able to get in gear, but when they are going to be available and open again, we'll be there.
Exactly. And we're going to be right behind it.
You're going to be with us.
We're going to be there with you, sitting in the audience, screaming opening night. And here's another question, too. What changed the most from the summer reading to the production?
Oh, my goodness. The summer reading 2017 when we did the SIGWorks Lab. Whew, so many things. But I would say the biggest change would be the kinfolk. The kinfolk as the overarching ensemble sort of network and framework for the show was not part of that workshop. So that's something that we found after having that experience. Big change.
And the end of the first act too, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the end of the first act, the end of the second act, we had cut so many songs, rewritten different songs. There was just been a lot of different minute changes, but the biggest change I could identify is deciding that we needed to call the ensemble and give them an identity and give them a motivation, because before it was just an ensemble of people, but to specifically say these are the kinfolk of Mary and Martha gave it a whole different essence and embodiment to it.
Absolutely.
Biggest change.
Which is great.
Thank you.
Here's a question for both of you. So we'll start with you, Robbie. And this is from Alan Savada. Do the times we are living in now make for a different way and theme of composing new works? And what do you want to compose about the present situation?
Whew.
You're like, I don't want to compose anything because I want to forget the current situation. I
Thanks
just
for
want to
nothing,
get back
Alan.
to the personal room.
I don't know that I have aspirations, at least right now, to compose about specifically the current situation, but I do think it influences the way I'm working right now, in that there are a lot of subjects and sort of approaches to subjects that just don't seem like they matter a whole lot right now, or that are all that relevant to the world we're living in and the lives we're living now. And I think that's going to last. I don't think that's a temporary situation. I think whenever something this huge happens to the world, our lenses change, and probably for good.
Yeah.
So I do think for me, there's a little more maybe gravity to a way of writing. There's there's some things that used to be funny that aren't funny. There's some things that used to feel dramatic or weighty that don't feel weighty at all anymore, right?
Yeah.
I think it's that.
Do you find like, because you're spending so much time with yourself and your two dogs who love getting mail, do you find like that's easier to work and really focus on your work, or is it harder?
Gosh, it's hard because we all have to find new routines, right?
Yeah.
So, so even though I'm used to spending a lot of time at home writing, that time is usually incredibly solitary for me, and that's not the case now. We're all here in the house together, and so it's about sort of finding ways to sequester myself so I can really get 3-4 hours of work done at a time. And I think it's probably like anybody else. We're all trying to sort of reimagine what it is our rhythms, what our rhythms and our lives look like.
How about you, Angelica?
One of the things that's really interesting about the way that I'm working right now and the way that Ross and I are working is it's pretty similar to what we were doing prior to the pandemic, because we have a bi-coastal collaboration. I'm here in LA and Ross is in the Upper West Side of New York City. So we've had to already utilize Skype to its limits to be able to compose. And so that's, that doesn't feel entirely different. But I think one of the things that's characteristic about everyone spending so much time at home and not having the distractions of their routines and being outside is that people are starting to become more introspective and analyzing their own patterns and their thoughts and sitting with themselves. So I think that some of these things that we're writing, if we're tapping into not necessarily some of the subconscious, but if we're tapping into the human experience in ways that are very true and honest and transparent to the human experience, and just these emotions that we're actually now having time to feel and identify. Oh, I didn't realize that I was afraid or scared or felt abandoned or anxious or any of these things that start coming up when you take away the distractions of running around, doing this, doing that, and just sitting with yourself. I think that's going to be showing up in the work. And I think that as long as we do that, we're being true to the palette shift that people are going to be looking for. And just something that we've been talking about in general is that it's going to be a radical revolutionary step for people to return to theaters.
Yeah.
Because we are wearing masks and gloves and standing 6 feet apart in the grocery store. And so for us to come back and decide to make the decision to sit next to human beings and have a full hour, evening long experience, that in itself is going to be revolutionary and radical. So that on top of the shift in focus and in a mission statement, it's all going to be very, very different in the next landscape of things.
Well, I just want to thank both of you for coming on the show. I mean, it's been so great and so fascinating hearing what you had to say and just your experiences about writing. And I just say, keep writing, keep telling us these great stories. We all want to hear them, and we can't wait for the next one. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to hug you and see you guys in person.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes, thank you.
So much fun.
Amazing. And so I also want to just thank George and Laura as our special guests this week, which was great. And next week, we have a really fun show planned. we're going to be having a Chorus Line reunion. And so the cast is going to be showing up along with the director, Matt Gardner, who also is going to host the show next week, and then Dennis Jones, who choreographed it. And they've been practicing their dancing as well, so it's going to be a fun time for sure. And so that's going to be a special SIG Live next week, a Chorus Line reunion. So we hope you see you then next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And thanks again for joining us, and see you next week.
Jump out of bed, fasten my hair, wriggle a dress on, dress falling off. What do I care? It's more or less on. Tear down the hall, trip on the stair, get up and press on. Life isn't here, life is out there. Will I escape? Will mother dear see me go sneaking out of the door? Yes, I can hear mother is shrieking. I'll run away off on my own, galloping, streaking, breaking the world just to stop here. Or there is something waiting in the stone. I wake up and I feel it calling, come on faster. I need to be out chasing the unknown. Feeling the pull just like a lover, dying to know what I'll discover, what I will see in the stone. Look, see that wavering sparrow take flight. See that girl, she'll be dancing all night. 'Cause she's me and I've never been so excited. Sometimes I gaze, sometimes I just see it abruptly. Is it a face? Is it a bust? Don't interrupt me, nobody move, nobody breathe. I have to subtly chisel it down, and then I thrust. Look, there's a shoulder who's caught under fire. See that woman, she walks a high wire, and she's me, and I'm full of despair.